All right, on these problems, we have to do one extra step at the beginning. So if we're looking at this, we would like to just add or subtract, but we can't. If we add them together, 8 plus a negative 3 is 5, 14 plus a negative 7 is 7, so nothing cancels out. And they're not even the same number. I can't just multiply by a negative 1. But we do have a 7 here and a 14 here. So if I were to multiply this bottom equation by 2, I would then have a 14 and a negative 14. I'm not going to work with my x's because I can't multiply anything by 3 and get to an 8. So I'm not going to work with the x's. I'm going to work with the y's because they're easier. So this top equation is going to stay the same. 8x plus 14y equals 2. Then multiply this bottom equation by 2, giving me negative 6x minus 14y and a positive 16. So then when I add them together, the y's cancel out. 8x minus 6x is 2x. 16 plus 2 is 18. So I'm going to divide everything by 2, and that gives me x equals 9. So now I take my 9 and I plug it back up into one of my original equations. So I'm going to write x equals 9 here. And then I'm going to plug it into this first one because I have positive numbers there. You just pick whichever one is easiest for you. So 8x would be 8 times 9 plus 14y equals 2. So 9 times 8 is 72 plus 14y equals 2. So then I'm going to subtract 72 from both sides. So that's 0. And so that gives me 14y equals negative 70. And if I divide both sides by 14, you can grab a calculator for this, but I know that's going to be negative 5. So once I have my first answer, or I had my first answer, my 9, once you have your first answer, you plug it back into the equation and solve for your second answer. So then you write your final answer as x comma y, remember. So it's 9 comma negative 5. Okay, let's do another one like that. So we're just adding steps. We started out by just adding them together, and then we had to multiply by a negative 1, and now we have to multiply by a different number. So let's find a good one here. Okay, this one has a couple of choices. Negative 5x minus 2y equals 8, and then x minus 4y is equal to negative 6. Now I could choose to get my y's to cancel out here. I could multiply the top by negative 2, but I'm going to multiply my bottom one by 5 because I already have a negative there and a positive there. So if I multiply this by 5, my top equation is going to stay the same. Negative 5x minus 2y equals 8. And then the bottom equation becomes positive 5x minus 20y equals negative 30. So then a negative 5x and a positive 5x cancels out. So a negative 2 plus a negative 20 is negative 22y. And a negative 30 plus 8 is a negative 22. So when I divide by negative 22, I'm going to get positive 1. Now I take positive 1 and plug it back up in, and I would plug it into one of the original equations. So I'm going to do x minus 4 times y, which we found to be 1, equals negative 6. I'm going to erase this work here so I've got more room to work. So 4 times 1 is just 4, so this becomes x minus 4 equals negative 6. So then I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So I get x equals negative 2. And remember we had y equals 1. Whoops, sorry, I can't see that. We had y equals 1 for our first answer. We got negative 2, so our answer is going to be negative 2, comma 1. Okay, let's do one more of those. Okay. Let's say I have negative 4x plus 2y equals negative 16, and I have a negative 8x plus 8y equals a positive 8. Okay, I want to show you what happens when you have something like this. So 2 goes into 8. I could multiply this by 4 and get them both be 8s. 4 times 2 is 8. I could multiply this by 2 and get them to be 8s. These are both negative and these are both positive. So either way, I'm going to have to multiply by a negative number. So it really doesn't matter which one you want to do. I would probably multiply by a negative 2 just because 2 is smaller than 4. It really doesn't matter. So if I multiply this by a negative 2, that gives me a positive 8x minus 4y and then a positive 32. Negative 16 times negative 2 is positive 32. Then just copy this one down because it doesn't change. Equals 8. Then 8x minus 8x is 0. Negative 4y plus 8y is positive 4y. And 32 plus 8 is 40. So when I divide both sides by 4, I get y equals 10. So once you have one answer, y equals 10, we're going to erase this and plug it in. So hopefully it's starting to sound pretty repetitive. Hopefully you're starting to see that it's the same things over and over and over again. So I'm going to take it into this first equation before we multiplied it by negative 2, because that's my smallest numbers. So negative 4x plus 2 times y, which is 10, equals negative 16. So that's negative 4x plus 20 equals negative 16. So I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides, and that's going to give me negative 4x equals negative 36. Divide both sides by negative 4, and you get y equals positive 9. Whoa, what did I do here? X, not y. Negative 4x, so x equals 9. So my answer is 9, 10, because I got y equals 10, and then I got x equals 9. Okay, so hopefully that's making sense to you, and you can make some progress on your assignment.